ADOS is everywhere. Cut the check.
All right. Thanks for tuning in to Dirty Laundry Media. Peace to the Dirty Laundry family, and also to my new listeners. Peace to all my returning listeners, and if this is your first time, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and please share these videos to your social media. So for today's topic, I would like to discuss culture vultures, particularly culture vultures in hip-hop. And I would like to start with a man that goes by the name of DJ Vlad, previously known as Vlad the Butcher. And I would like to highlight an incident that took place in 2016 in which an Atlanta rap artist by the name of Bankroll Fresh was actually gunned down. This occurred in front of Street Executive's studio here in Atlanta, and it was a shootout that involved Bankroll Fresh and another rapper that goes by the name of No Plug. This incident was covered extensively in the media. It ultimately resulted in no charges being filed against the suspect, who was in fact No Plug. In the immediate aftermath of the shooting, DJ Vlad published an interview on his YouTube channel, Vlad TV, in which he featured the rapper No Plug. No Plug was given the platform to explain his version of events that culminated in Bankroll Fresh losing his life. And needless to say, it was probably too soon, and the attitude that was displayed by the rapper No Plug was a little too callous and happy-go-lucky for many of those who watched the video. I will withhold my opinion. You can get down in the comment section and let me know if you're familiar with the case, how you feel about it. But what I want to highlight in particular is the response by a man named Marvin Shadi, or Shady. I'm not sure exactly how it's pronounced. He's Bankroll Fresh's uncle, and he is also a music industry executive. And he took exception with Vlad airing the interview, with Vlad interviewing the rapper No Plug, and he penned a scathing response to Vlad TV. So I'm going to read some of that for you now, and we will discuss further on the other side. The letter begins: Dear Vlad, Vlad TV, you disrespectful culture vulture. I offered you to talk to my family, Bankroll Fresh's family, when my nephew was first killed. Did you call us or reach out to the Street Money Worldwide family or his father and mother to get a rebuttal to No Plug's story? None of that. When I asked you to interview Bankroll PJ and how he was continuing the legacy, you had a subordinate call me to tell me you're passing on PJ. He had just released a new single, plus he's starring in the new FX TV show Atlanta this fall with Childish Gambino. But no, that was too positive, huh? Not enough black on black crime. And very quickly, Bankroll PJ, if you don't know, well, at the time he was 6 years old. He's now 10 years old. He's an Instagram celebrity, and he's also a young recording artist. And he was Bankroll Fresh's nephew. So moving on. But you gave this coward a forum and put this hating coon on your platform like it was some light humid story. Sitting there smiling and talking about how he loved my family. Where was the remorse with all that chuckling? And then the story he was telling you was straight bullshit with more holes in it than the police reasons for killing Alton Sterling. You're a poor excuse for a journalist, if we can even call you one. And while the whole black community were coming together to protest cops killing black men, you dropped this one-sided interview of an open investigation for an unsolved murder of Bankroll Fresh. Was that strategic, Vlad? You wanted to show more black on black violence on the same day? All you do is take from our community. My nephew is dead and you're having a light humid conversation with an alleged killer like it's just another interview with Taxstone or Charlemagne. What's funny? This shit ain't funny. Even as a responsible journalist or the leader of urban news as you claim, you should have had the rebuttal interview with our family and or other people who were there. Then you let him talk without confirming anything beforehand. Did you talk to the DA's office or the APD homicide? Even if no charges was brought, it doesn't explain the real truth on why he was at the studio in the first place. It's only his side of the story. Where's the other sides? Where's the truth? No other man of another color or race should have that much power over the narrative of what happens in black communities. Our stories, our lives, and even our music, and don't even give back at all. And then you get slick every now and then and subliminally try to drop other vultures like Slim Jesus in our psyche to see if you can get away with it. You're really a pornographer that found a better hustle, pimping black culture. I know you. I work for you. You don't give back to our community. How much of that $50K a month do you donate to the black community? Ad agencies use your site to pimp everything from fried chicken to Coca-Cola and pay you well. Words from your own mouth. Cavario and Don Diva warned me about you back then. Eben Gregory from EbenGregory.com warned me about you. You're worse than Harvey Levin over at TMZ. But most of you cats who make money from black people stick together. Y'all always trying to get money out the hood one way or another. Corner store or rap label. Covering urban culture or making black movies for black people. But you don't give a damn about us. You're worse than the police because you're killing us slowly with the crap you feed our youth every day. Just so you can get traffic and views because that's the new guns and butter. Advertising dollars for unique visitors. You think we're stupid. Since the hip hop nation co-signed you and every other idiot who want to be seen or want to remain relevant jumps in front of your camera on some step and fetch it shit and takes us back 50 years in morals and principle. The internet ain't killing my people. You are with your Vlad TV. You're irresponsible and you will be checked for it when the opportunity presents itself. Your end is near. So are y'all finished or are y'all done? You trying to destroy my nephew's legacy after someone took his life? I'll see you when I see you, clown. Let's have some tea or break bread or something. But you will put some respect on Bankroll Fresh's name? That's a promise. Stay tuned for the real exclusive Bankroll Fresh news on Revolt, All Hip Hop, and WSHH, which is World Star Hip Hop, among others. And from my brother and Bankroll's father and COO, K Rich, Street Money Bucci, and Quick Trip from Street Money Worldwide. Shame on you, thief. There's three sides to a story: theirs, ours, and the truth. You should have done your job, crook. I'm still Nat Turner to you. Signed, Shady Powers, VP of Digital Marketing, Street Money Worldwide. There's a photo of video that Vlad TV published with no plug. So here is some footage of No Plug arriving at the studio prior to his confrontation with Bankroll Fresh. This is Street Executive Studios in Atlanta, Georgia. That's No Plug right there. Quick flash to them fighting. No Plug, Bankroll Fresh. Trying to break it up. They going at it. Spills out to the street. Now, No Plug apparently is in the vehicle on the street. The circle to the right is Bankroll Fresh. Looks like he has an SKS or an AK. brandishes it, and at some point right in here he lets off a shot, bam, and then he retreats into the building. A few other guys out there got guns as well. Bankroll in the building, boom, they wet the building, hit Bankroll, he gets carried out, exits left of the frame. Seconds later, more shots ring out. So yes, a very tragic situation indeed. Another brother lost to gun violence, street violence, gunned down in the prime of his life, doing what he loved to do, which was make music. Interesting to note that around the same time as the No Plug interview, Vlad also interviewed 21 Savage. Probably was shot during the same session, as the background was the same. They were on. So it possibly was a 2-for-1 deal. This was at the time before 21 Savage had really blown up. So Vlad, probably thinking long range, said, let me get these two guys on the couch, pass on Bankroll PJ. He was only 6 years old. So that criticism from Marvin Shadi definitely made sense if you're thinking about it from a marketing aspect. And also recently Vlad did an interview with No Jumper, Adam, what's his name? Adam 21 from the No Jumper podcast, and he spoke about the interview with No Plug and the backlash that he received for doing that interview. Vlad pretty much felt justified in the way that he approached the situation. For one, he said because No Plug was eventually exonerated, so he said that some kind of way that justifies him moving the way that he did. And he also stated that if he didn't do the interview, that somebody else would have done it, which is pretty much the the attitude of a vulture, a drug dealer, somebody who's not going to let a scrap fall from the table for anyone else.
Everyone hated me after the No Plug interview, talking about the killing of Bankroll Fresh, but a year later, Atlanta PD released the footage, and you see Bankroll Fresh with like an AK-47 or something, waving it around, and I guess the footage cut off right before he shot first.
Really?
It was a return fire kind of situation. It was self-defense. I mean, this is why No Plug is doing an interview, you know, on the same couch as 21 Savage that day. The whole It's a Knife interview, that happened the same day. But people like to really criticize, oh, you should have never given him a platform, he should have never spoken about it, but someone shoots at you first, and you have a gun, what sane person would not return fire?
So there you have it. I'm going to go ahead and close this, but before I go, I did want to mention something I forgot to, and that was recently in another interview with D.L. Hughley, one of his favorite guests. DJ Vlad misquoted the Minister Louis Farrakhan, and he insinuated or basically declared that in one of his recent speeches, the Minister Farrakhan had incited his followers to do acts of violence against Jews. Something having to do with picking up a rock if you see a Jew and smashing them over the head. But I believe he only heard part of the quote, or was advised of only part of the quote. I myself haven't listened to the speech, so I cannot quote it, and I haven't looked it up. This just came to me as I was closing out this video, and a lot of people went in on Vlad about that one. I've seen a lot of heat on YouTube, on Twitter, as well as Instagram, and eventually Vlad went back and edited that part of the video out, and I guess re-uploaded it, because he realized that he had misquoted the minister. And all in, from what I hear, it was because the minister has rebuffed his attempts to have him as a guest on his show. And that is another thing about DJ Vlad that I noticed. If he's unable to secure you as a guest on his show, he takes it as a slap in the face. And it seems like from that point on, he'll continue to drop shade on you in interviews. And not only will he drop shade on you, he attempts to recruit some of his guests to support his point of view, or to basically back him up if he has some smoke for any particular individual. And to me, he's just messy. He wants to be a journalist, but he doesn't really practice true journalism. He's just a social media blogger to me. And that's about the size of it. But we've elevated him. It's partially our fault. But like I said, we don't know how he's being pushed, marketed. We don't know how his presence is being enhanced by the machine. I'm sure he's part of the machine, because he just seems to toe the line that the status quo, the same old narrative. So I'm going to go ahead and end this, and I may chime back in, but I just want us to use this as an example, because we seem to elevate those outside the culture. We seem to give those outside the culture passes when it comes to certain transgressions or missteps. We give them a long leash that we don't give our own people. And I think that needs to change. I'm very aware of where this type of mentality comes from, but it definitely needs to change. We have other very capable bloggers that are out there. Off the top of my head, I can think of a couple who, when it comes to the hip hop, has definitely elevated their game. And not just hip hop, but when it comes to entertainment and social media and social issues in general, current events in general. Choke No Joke comes to mind. MREC TV comes to mind. Doggy Diamonds has been in the game doing it for a long time. And I'm sure there are several others that I could mention. There is one young brother, Mr. Tyler Farrow, I believe is his name. He's been doing it for a long time. Is very consistent, very knowledgeable, and very thorough. Shout out to those guys. But again, we need to begin to put a gate up around the culture, and that's on every level of the culture, from our social circles to our political movements, to our educational endeavors, and to our communities as such. We need to put a gate up, insulate ourselves, love ourselves, and advocate for ourselves, first and foremost, as American descendants of slavery. And that is really the point of these videos about Vlad and Culture Vultures. It's not to bash Vlad. I don't know the man, so I have nothing against him personally. I just don't appreciate the way he moves within the culture that he has profited off of greatly. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and close. Thanks for listening. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Please subscribe. And if you do, hit that notification bell so you can be made aware when I upload new content. And thanks again. This is Bill Money signing off for Dirty Laundry Media. Have a great one.